Yo, what's up, brother?
How's it going, sir?
I'm glad I kidnapped you today. I'm on the air with Michael Dobbins. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's going on? I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Doing all right.
How was yesterday?
Yesterday was a blast. We went out to your property here in Charlotte, and we shot a bunch of things. I mean, $5,000 in ammunition, maybe?
Maybe. I quit counting.
I mean, it was
All I heard was cha-ching, cha-ching,
Yeah.
cha-ching, cha-ching.
There was a couple that went.
It was like 4 hours. Yeah,
4 hours of shooting.
4 hours of
Guns.
It was really cool.
That's a Christmas party.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a
Giant.
heck of a send-off to 2024.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There was a fire. There was a live band.
Yeah.
Tons of food.
Yeah.
Lots of cookies. It was a good time.
It was a great time, man. Thanks for coming.
Absolutely.
I am so glad I was able to get you here today, right before you get on a flight back to San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
You are one of my favorite people. I remember years ago in Sunstoppers when we got started on the XPEL train, and you were the marketing department.
Yep.
All of the marketing department, I do believe. I think maybe it was 2 or 3 other people that assisted you at the time.
Mhm.
Danny and I think one other.
Ben.
And I remember you coming to Charlotte, and we opened a tailgate of a car, and we were filming out of a tailgate on a road.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that? And you
Yeah.
had an Airbnb, and I went and picked you guys up at the Airbnb, and we followed over to do a car shoot, and we planned the Guinness World Record together.
Yeah, I just drove by that dealership here today.
Memories.
I've not been back to Charlotte since,
No.
actually.
Oh, welcome back.
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
I think it's been that long.
You've been with XPEL 12 years.
It'll be 12 years next month.
Next month.
Yep.
12 years. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive.
A third of my entire life has been
What do you actually,
in a shirt.
what do you like about XPEL so much that you're willing to work there for 12 years?
You know, that's a good question. It's a group of really passionate people doing things that they just love doing. And I got this question recently, you know, they're like, Dobbins, you've been there so long, like, you know, ins and outs of shops. Like, why don't you go do your own shop? And I'm like, man, there's just so much potential, right? Like when I started 12 years ago, we had like 30 something in employees and did like 12 million in revenue. And even now with, you know, over 1,000 employees and, you know, $500 million in revenue or something like that, like even though we've grown so much, there's still unlimited room for us to grow. And I think the excitement of the unknown of like not knowing what's next and how far we could actually go, that's what keeps me here.
It's exciting. One thing that we're diversifying into is we're really 2025 is the residential commercial side of the business. And we are now getting started in the surface protection film, like the marbles, countertops,
Appliances.
I don't know this. We're going to test this. The film for possibly we're going to do our shower in Arizona. We're going to do the hydrophobic film for the glass. Do you know how much glass is pain in the ass to hard water?
Oh, yeah.
So I didn't know. I'm going to test it and see in my own home and see how the hydrophobic film works on the glass and see how easy it is to keep clean and watch the repel. And I think there's just a market for this product on so many different surfaces.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And certainly better than using Rain-X for
Absolutely.
your shower. I mean,
So where are you from?
I'm from San Antonio, Texas.
You are from
Born-
high school there.
Born and raised when I went to high school. Yep.
And you applied for a job at XPEL doing what at the very beginning?
Well, so I went to the University of North Texas up in Denton, Texas. So like one of the suburbs of DFW. And my undergrad is in converged broadcast media with a certificate in live TV news producing.
This is right up here.
Yeah, so this is a ton of fun, yeah. And my internship was with Ford Motor Company doing public relations for them in the summer of 2012. I helped them launch the new Ford Escape back then in Texas. It was a good time. Yeah, and somebody that I met at Ford, his name is Alvaro Cabal, super great guy. Met him maybe only like 2 or 3 times. He would come into the office there in Dallas. And then so fast forward to December, And Eric Keller, who you know, who's at XPEL, has been there for a long time, one of our sales reps. He was doing some work with the Texas Auto Writers, actually getting some press cars and like writing reviews for Ford. And so he knew somebody at Ford, and I guess Eric was reaching out to Alvaro, and he was like, "Hey, do you know anyone graduating who might be interested, or just anyone who you'd recommend in the industry?" And Alvaro was like, "Yeah, there's this kid I met 2 or 3 times. I don't know what the conversation actually was, but
Take him off my hands.
yeah, maybe so."
He's got potential.
I mean, and so I got a call like 10 days after graduating, December like 15th, 2012, and wanted me to come down to San Antonio for an interview. And I didn't want to move back home because I was in Dallas. I was in the big city. I made it. I got away. And they're like, "Hey, we're in San Antonio. Do you want to come back?" I'm like, "Well, okay." And went back and interviewed. And it turns out the interview was for a sales role. And which I didn't really know going into it. It was kind of like an open interview. "Hey, come down, talk to us," kind of thing. And then near the end of it, they're like, "Well, this is for a territory manager role." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, but do you guys do Instagram?" And they're like, "Well, what's Instagram?" And I was like, are you guys on YouTube?" And they're like, "Well, we have a couple things." And I was like, "Would you guys have those little like Red Bull Mini Coopers that are at events? Like, do you have anything like that? XPEL wrap, going to Cars and Coffee?" And they're, "No." I was like, "You need that. Like, why don't you have that?" And Ryan Pape, he said, "So you're telling me if we hire someone for the sales role that you don't want the job?" I said, "No, sir." He's like, "But if we create a department and a position for you, then you're the man for the job." I said, "Absolutely." And then a couple weeks later, I started, and I was the first ever marketing employee. And yeah, it's been almost 12 years.
That's amazing. What a story, right?
That's insane.
And look at the freaking company now, man. Insane.
You really got to make your own stuff happen,
I love it.
you know?
I love the whole company. I mean, I love everybody from the top down. I mean, everybody's great. I mean, there's maybe 1 or 2 people that, maybe we didn't get along as great, but our visions were different. But Ryan is a great leader. I mean,
Absolutely.
everyone there is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, you're growing on me, over the years.
I appreciate that. It's good. It's good to be growing. Yeah.
So you transitioned from marketing into a role in Nashville, Tennessee, as a sales rep. Take me through that period a little bit.
Yeah, so I, ran marketing for a while, had kind of dabbled with like, what would life as a sales rep be like? You always wonder, they always say marketing's the fun job, not the well-funded job, right? So you're like, you see these sales reps doing well, and you're like, I could do that, and I want to expand my resume and learn more about the company and be more of a weapon for us. So, and being a Texan who's never really left Texas, I was like, I want to see what else is out there. And so it was actually the year of COVID. Talking to Chris Hardy, I said, "Hey, what territories do you have available?" And he actually mentioned Charlotte. He mentioned DC. But being like a Southern boy, I was like, "Man, what about Tennessee? Like seems like a great place. I've never been there. Hadn't ever been there." And he's like, "You want to live in Nashville?" It's like, "Yeah." And it all kind of worked out. So moved to Nashville in December of 2020, became a territory manager, and was in Nashville up until April of this year when I moved back to San Antonio for a role that I took in February as the North American Strategic Account Manager.
Which means he gets to deal with the problem childs like me and everybody else.
Just about to say. No, he gets to deal with the problem child, you.
I'm just one of children. I'm one of many children.
Yeah, I get to deal with you.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. We would collaborate really well together.
Says every relationship manager ever. I get to deal with you. I get to.
So here's the thing. If you were a shop starting out and you've got less than 3 years of experience, you don't have a huge marketing budget, and you were to give advice to these shops, what would be your first key advice to them, saying if you could do something every single day to increase awareness, your brand, your identity, and to get sales. What marketing strategy would you give a shop that's 1 to 3 years in, that's kind of hit a plateau, but financially they just are kind of maxed out and don't have the budget for your traditional marketing style? What can they do internally themselves to help navigate more business?
I mean, that's a great question. And it's a lot of this might depend on what they're already doing, but I'm a huge proponent of maximizing existing resources. So what I mean by that is like, shops that have a hard time selling stealth, or shops that have a hard time upselling to like XR or XR plus, premium ceramic film. I'm like, what do you have out front? Like, what's your daily? What's your shop vehicle? What do you drive here every single day? Do you park it out front? Is it clean? Are you showing people, or do you park in the back? Because the mechanic's car is never working right? Just like the shop owner's car is never clean, and it's never tinted. But if you're not like maximizing that resource, like that's a premium marketing vehicle, regardless of what it is, whether it's a truck from the 2000s or you just leased a brand new Model 3, which they should do. Are you using that appropriately? If you're not, then you're doing yourself a disservice. There's a saying in television called "Say cat, see cat," where if you're watching the news and they say a cat got stuck in the tree, they're going to show you B-roll of a cat stuck in a tree, right? It's just common sense, but like when you're a shop owner or you're trying to train your general manager or your front desk person, and you're like, hey, our most popular package is actually full front and rockers and then XR plus. And like you just stop there, you don't take them outside and show them. It's a completely different ballgame. And that if you can walk them outside and say, this is our most popular package, and it's on a vehicle that looks like theirs or they can relate to. It's not just some little display piece in the showroom. It's not a printed menu with some stuff highlighted on it, which those tools can help. But if you're not actively walking people outside to show them what it actually looks like, your product, your quality done on a vehicle that they can somewhat relate to, because it's a real car, then that's a huge disservice.
Okay, so step one, get a company vehicle that looks similar to what your audience is coming in with, that you can have tinted, coated, and your most popular package. If you cannot afford that, I'm a guy that has a 10-year-old diesel truck. It's lifted. It's got 200,000 miles. I don't have the money or the credit to buy a new vehicle. Right now, Mike's wife killed my credit. Not saying me. I'm role playing. In the store or my existing customer base, what media? Is it TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, or is it all the above? How many hours a day? When's the best time to post? What is a formula of some type of success that you would give advice to some shop to say, man, if I was to run a shop and I was to own a shop right now and I don't have any money, I would do this every freaking day?
I mean, definitely
for new customers.
Yeah. Right. Media is important. I still, if regardless, if your truck is old or not, make sure it has go to Cars and Coffee, meet these people. Cause part of being at these grassroots local events is you're going to start to meet club presidents and like go to the PCA club, find out who the Corvette club president is, find out who the Tesla club president is, and whether you have one or not, getting to know them can help build those relationships. You join those groups on Facebook and stuff like that. As far as posting, I mean, we all know that the attention span is getting shorter here, right? So TikTok is huge, shorts, reels, things like that. Just being consistent, right? The whole like the best time of day to post, all of that stuff. There's analytics and there's metrics on the online on when the best time is, and but I think more important than concerning yourself about that, because if you're not doing anything now, right, like obsessing over every little detail just to get started, it's going to be hard to get some momentum. So what I'd say is, at least post 5 days a week, right? Monday through Friday. Because you want to post on the days that you're open. If you're open Saturdays, post on Saturdays, right? I would avoid being the guy who's on the couch Sunday between, like at halftime, right? Who's like, oh, I haven't posted in a couple of days. And they go and they post 2 or 3 different separate posts all on the same day on a Sunday. They're going to be like, why are you posting on a Sunday? Your feed's going to get blown up. You're probably going to get unfollowed. It's just not engaging, right? So it's important to take the time and at least you post. You can schedule stuff out, right? Again, if you're doing nothing, scheduling is great. That's why there's a tool there.
One thing that we're working on at our company is we're now going live on YouTube. So we have a shop cam at our new Lake Norman store that we just renovated, and we're going to start implementing this in all the stores. But we have a live camera playing some whatever music at the time and a little header, and they can watch all day live of our guys working on the cars that are coming and going. We're going to have a fade, I think, of 1 or 2 minutes where it's going to go from one shop, fade, and then the feed is into a server to our room, and then it's going to come to our other store, like in Texas, then one of the stores here in Charlotte, and another store in Arizona. So you're going to live feed multiple shops throughout the day. So anybody goes to our YouTube channel can go live, and they can see work that's being done at all of our stores all day long.
Wow, that's really cool.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, and some of those car owners will
See their car.
hop on it. They love that, some of them. So
That's one of the things. And the thing is, it's free. A little bit of the camera, a little bit of the setup, a little bit of that. It's a one-time setup.
yeah,
So once it's a one-time setup, you hit
Right.
play, boom, it's gone. Now, the other thing is I'm doing for 2025 is we're going to go live in every store every single day on all the medias. There's no more, I'm going to do no more reels. I'm going to do no more editing, no more pictures. It's live. We're going to have a camera with a tripod. We're going to time lapse a car. We're going to have the front counter person being engaged with a camera up in the iPhone for the store. And we're going to go live. And we're going to have live engagements, live in the back, live. Everything's live. There's going to be no more editing, no more at all. It's going to be all live every store,
that's wild.
all the time.
Okay, yeah, that's I've not heard that before.
That's my new 2025 strategy for Zone Stoppers.
I think that's pretty rad.
It's rad, bro, because it's going to be cutting edge, because paying someone to edit, paying someone to do this, pay someone to do that, and then, hey, this cool car and that picture, it becomes stressful. And then all of a sudden it doesn't get done. And I fire a little girl. She gets her heart broken because she's not doing what she needs to do. And then all of a sudden I'm like, guys, if you're a tinter or if you're a PPF installer, do you know how to hit a button? You do. Click.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do. And we want it for at least a couple minutes every day, every shop.
Well, and that that goes back to maximizing resources, right? You have this content that's constantly there, that's changing. Someone could just log in and hop to and things like that. And going back to free things, a lot of shop owners may not know how to do everything, and that's okay. Nobody does, right? So if you're a really good tinter, you may not be the best at taking pictures or video, right? You can learn on YouTube things like that. There are apps like CapCut that's absolutely free, or if you get the pro version, it's like $80 a year, which is like nothing. But if you're not if you're not taking pictures of the cars that you're doing, especially with tint, which has a good before and after, if you're not doing that, then you're also wasting your current resources, right? Like, yes, it's an extra step. Oh no, you have to take it outside and take a picture, or take a picture of it when it's in the bay and your guy doesn't want to stop and do it. But if you just make it protocol, like after you prep, you take a picture and then you cut your kits and then you do it. And before you give it back, like part of the QC process, which they should have hopefully, is take a finished photo, right? And then you have a log of content. You're not just...
One thing that I've seen that's been very engaging is that when you take in a car that's dropped off and you turn around and take a picture of the work being done and then text it to the customer while it's being worked on and say, your car's turning out great, it's looking awesome, here, look at the before and after, here's our tag us, and we will reshare. So if you can get the engagement from the original customer and you send them the photos and then let them do the post and then tag us and reshare their post, now got a whole new audience.
Right. And it's so much of a different story when things are engaged with, and it's not just like, here's a picture of a Tundra that I tinted. If someone's liking, if someone's sharing it, if you're tagged in it, if you're a collaborator in it, yeah, it just helps the algorithm.
I'm going to switch gears. One thing that you used to do that was very impressive to me was how you worked with YouTubers at the time. Tell me your most impressive story and involvement that you had with one of your YouTubers. And you can mention names if you would like.
I mean, I think still to date, I think our most popular, and by popular, I mean most amount of views project we've ever done with a YouTuber is Jason Fensky with Engineering Explained. Really great guy, good friend. We still text. It's cool. super great guy, and we had him do a couple of videos, and one of them was everything you need to know about ceramic coatings. And so this was our second video. We had already done one about paint protection film, so we kind of had a relationship, but just being a people person and a car guy, we just clicked really well. Been to his house, met his family, like lovely people. We would like talk and text outside of just work stuff. We'd talk about car stuff.
Right.
And so we had a good relationship. So when we went up, and we shot this in Boise, Idaho, where he lived at the time. And he was just, how he operates is he's like, well, give me the information, educate me on what the product can and can't do. And that's something that I love about XPEL is like, we're very honest about what products can and can't do. We're not trying to sell you snake oil or say that a coating can do something that it can't. So we gave Jason all the information, helped him logistically with like getting a car done and like half done, the whole like half and half. And then, shot it and just let him do his thing. And I think to date, Garrett, maybe you can fact check me here on YouTube, but I think it's like 3 million views.
I actually haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
Very cool.
What?
Go to Engineering Explained on YouTube and type in XPEL ceramic coating. I think it's also the highest watched video on YouTube regarding ceramic coatings.
Get out, baby! Come on, give me some. That's what's up.
Garrett, fact check me real quick.
I'm looking right now.
So the other thing is, outside of this engineering, what was the name of it?
Engineering Explained.
Engineering Explained. Okay. Outside of that, who is like the cool, rad, popular YouTube guy that you did something cool with? Anything?
I mean, we've done stuff with Stradman a bunch. He's a really cool dude.
What's he do?
He's a vlogger out of Utah.
Okay.
Got a bunch of cool cars, insane house, like perfect house for a car dude. He's got a Koenigsegg, if that helps.
Yeah.
Just outstanding people though too. We've worked with him. We did
3.4 million views 5 years ago.
3.4 million.
Whoa.
Yeah. And I think it's the highest watched video on YouTube regarding ceramic coating.
Awesome.
So that's pretty sweet.
When's the last time you done work with this gentleman, the Engineering Explained?
A couple months.
Oh, really? Still doing things?
We just did his GR Corolla. He just bought as a daily. So he's back in Oregon. So Tad at Elite Window 10 did it for us.
Right on.
Full 10 mil.
Love.
10.
Full 10 mil, full premium coating, XR Plus.
Right on. Now, what is the most expensive car you've ever driven?
Okay. Well, driven's relative.
No, I sat in, driven, enjoyed, actually, know the owner and got in the car and actually took a ride in it.
Well, okay. I mean, I've driven a Centenario Roadster about 10 feet, so one of 20. That's cool. I've ridden in a bunch of really cool stuff like Chiron's.
If you were to have your last meal, and this not your meal, but your last ride, like you're at hospital, you have to get out of the wheelchair and you have to go sit in the car.
This is easy.
And you go, you get one last ride.
Easy.
Which one?
Lamborghini Miura.
Ooh, good one. Classic.
It's the first ever car with a V12 behind you, and I think it's my favorite car, and
it was the true first supercar.
It's just like,
how much are those?
Now you're looking over $1 million.
They're a few milli.
That's one just sold the luxury junkyard, the auction in California. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Do you remember what that sold for?
I don't.
It sold for $600,000, and it was a rare limited spec, and it was sitting outside. There was an alloy body prototype Gullwing, that same condition, dust covered.
Yeah.
$9 million
for the Gullwing, but the Miura
is absolutely spectacular.
It's
you can't adjust the seats.
Yeah. And when you open the doors on the Miura, because they didn't go up, they went out like normal doors. But on the end of the doors, they have these like the design aspect, and they look like a bull. So when you open the doors and stand in front of the Miura, it looks like a bull. And it's my favorite car ever.
Yeah, I don't know any of that.
I don't think I would fit in it. That's
What at the start of the original Italian job, that was the car that went off the road. was the Miura.
Really?
The original Italian job.
the
not
OG one?
Yeah.
There's a reason why I keep Garrett.
Not the
around.
Jason Statham one?
He has the knowledge of stuff that really.
That's great. We all need a Garrett.
Yes,
We all need a Garrett.
But yeah, the Miura is one of the most spectacular driving automobiles on the face of the planet, especially if you can actually get the true sports spec, which is buku rare.
Yeah.
Those things
Yeah,
are
they're-
just
What's your car, Garrett? What would you?
Yeah, good
Your last ride, bro.
would be a 1961 Mercedes 300 SL Roadster.
The Roadster.
I don't want the Gullwing. They stopped production in 57 on the Gullwing. So
Okay.
the Roadster to me is one of the most beautiful cars. Jaguar E-Type, of course,
Yeah, I'm about
is
to say
stunning,
E-Type, bro. Have you heard of E-Type?
but the
Yeah.
300 SL Roadster is it's got a special place in my heart.
That's a good choice. Mike, what about you? Let me guess. A Denali GMC Yukon, the one I have outside because it's perfect.
You know, I'm kind of a truck lover. I've got an old C10 that I like, but I would love to ride in a really souped up, like LS swapped, just like $100,000 plus truck build of something with air ride,
I like that.
just something
Tubbed and everything.
patinaed.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, to me, I want like an older patinaed truck that looks old on the outside, but just is so badass, brand new.
Resto mod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I like
the
that kind of stuff.
That to me is it's got the balls, it's got the look.
I'm a huge fan of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, here's the thing: if you got to go buy, if you can buy it off the showroom floor, and if you can buy it original, I don't want it. Yeah, I want nothing original.
Okay.
You know, I want to buy something that is a one of one. You know, it's like Rolexes.
That's fair.
I just recently, in the last year, no disrespect to Rolex, I love their product. I've got a few, but I've gone against wearing them now. It's gotten to the point where they're the Honda Accord of watches. And I'm not saying that in any disrespect. It's just the fact that I have a Rolex that I was fortunate enough to get. It was a one of one. It's black with like a rose gold. And it made me love that watch even more. Like it's a one of one custom built Rolex, right? And when I wear that watch, I know anywhere in the world I go, no one is wearing that watch.
Okay.
And so that is what makes, if I could get my Rolex collection and send them off to like a builder to like go and like you do a car, like you get an AMG and be like, bro,
Like
I want
a coach
the,
builder.
I want the like the truck, what are they called? Hennessy, the Hennessy builds. Like that's a Hennessy, like a Shelby truck, right? You know, you might find somebody that has one, that's great, but they're rare. Like you just said, one of 20 cars, one of 50.
Yeah.
Like if Rolex would say, hey, we got one of 10 that we're making this year. That's the kind of stuff I wish some of the car manufacturers would do, but also like watch people would do. And I'm getting older to the point where if I'm going to spend hard-earned money on something, I want to have a unique conversation piece that is unique to me, that explains my personality. That is basically like, I'm driving a car outside, that's me. I don't care if anybody else likes it. It's my personality. It's who I am. It's what makes me me. I'm wearing a watch that I bought a Omega. It was orange, had orange stuff on it, but it was cool looking.
Right.
And a guy looks at me and goes, you were an Omega? I go, bro, I don't care if it's a Timex. It's got orange stuff on it. The band's cool.
It's cool. It's
like,
unique.
It's me. I don't care if it's a $5,000 watch. It's
Okay.
I'm not trying to impress you.
No, right. Yeah, yeah, of course.
So I think that's where, when age catches up with a little bit of finance income, I'm not looking to buy the most expensive thing. I'm buying what really matters and means something to me. Does that make sense?
100%.
And those are usually, everybody tries to say, well, especially with the car industry, the watch industry, everybody's like, well, is it an investment? None of these things are investments. None of them are intended to be an investment.
Right.
If you buy something you like and you enjoy it, that's an investment. If you buy something you enjoy and it just happens to actually be worth more later on, that's an investment. However, it's just like stocks. A stock is only worth what you paid for it. It's not worth what it's selling for now, because it's not worth X unless you sell it. So people say, oh, well, my stock's worth X now. No, it's worth what you got. Now, if you sell it now, yeah, you might make some money or you might lose some money, but that's not what that actually means. And so a lot of people with watches, well, my watch collection is now worth blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, it's worth what you paid for it. You want to sell some of it? Well, no, then it ain't worth that.
Right. Yeah. Dobbins, question. If you were to start a window tinting paint protection shop now, and you were to be on an advisory committee to advise someone that was about to start out, okay, Would you advise, you have A, B, and C, okay?
Okay.
A, you're going to start off with a 1,500 square foot facility and start off with window tint. B, you have a 2,500 square foot facility and you're going to do window tint, paint protection, maybe a little bit of coatings. Or C, the 5,000 square foot facility where you have the paint protection installer, the window tinter, the ceramic coating department that does corrections, and the sales department. A, B, C.
I mean,
Which one would you advise someone
I don't
starting out?
I don't think anyone should start in C. I think that would be pretty crazy.
Right.
But
But if you have money, right? Hold on. You have money.
Mhm.
You drive a McLaren. Your 18-year-old to 25-year-old son wants to get into this business and has been doing it for maybe 2 years, a year. Very loves cars, goes to Cars and Coffee, goes to all this stuff. Daddy's got money.
yeah.
Daddy goes, hey, I want to get into this business.
Mm-hmm.
He goes for C, $10,000 a month rent, 5,000 square foot facility. You know, dad has 2 or 3 other businesses. It sounds great, but what I'm saying is, as an investor, does that sound like what you would advise?
No, it's not practical.
So tell me where you would go.
You're only as good as the work you're putting out. So where my answer between A and B, it will be determined on where you are located.
Good.
Okay.
Where?
If you're in the South, I mean, starting with A, it's a no-brainer.
South window tint.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because your market's going to come to you. If you're in a little northern climate, then, or you're in, you can somehow find a good space like that in a nice part of town, in a nice city, then yeah, going with B to have special room for PPF. That way the tent side's not disturbed. You can still bang out cars. So it's going to be, don't do C. Because even no one knows what they're doing the first couple of years. So starting with all of that overhead and the hassle, like you don't know how to train someone how to sell because you don't know how to sell. You got to be in it. You got to live it. You got to do it. Like it's just,
You know what really kind of, I don't know, it just kind of dawned on me, but not just kind of lightened me when I get around Hardy, right? And he's like, bro, I'm from Canada. But Chris West is like one of my favorite people on the planet. Like I love Chris. He's from Alaska. Who, in my mind, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, right? We do a lot of window tinting here. And Chris meets me and he's talking to me and he's like, yeah, we're 80% paint protection. I meet people from Canada. Like 80, 90% of our business is paint protection. I'm like, you're in Canada. Ding, ding, ding. My stupid brain is not resonating with salt, snow, rocks,
longer seasons.
longer seasons.
That's right.
And I'm sitting there going, now I get it. So up in Alaska and Canada and in the north, starting a paint protection business makes way more sense than starting a tint business.
Yeah. Well, and even in like Colorado, which I wouldn't call the north, but when you're at, 1,500 feet above sea level, it's going to get colder, and it's going to get colder a lot longer. And it's a, decently affluent kind of expensive area. So I think the penetration rate for PPF is just higher, right?
Where do you see the shops that are the biggest volume shops that are doing PPF? Like if you were to take the entire United States, which areas are your higher volume for PPF versus tint?
I mean, PPF, extremely high volume up in the Northeast. We've got a really high volume PPF shop in San Diego, but that's less climate, more.
Well, that's boutique. I know Evan. They're the big boys.
Yeah,
they're the one of.
We love one of them. They are in fact one of them, right? But then you look at the big tent shops, and you look at Florida's, you look at Texas,
Nevada, maybe Vegas.
Vegas is a great tent market, yeah. But I think
Arizona.
Texas, California, Arizona, of course, Phoenix, huge tent market.
Yep. If you personally would open up a tent shop or a PPF shop, what would you rather choose, PPF or tent?
PPF, no question, without question.
I hate you.
I'm not.
This podcast is over.
I'm not a dinner. Bye, guys. No, I've been through the classes. I just
What, PPF?
PPF, tent,
you can do a mirror?
coatings. Oh, I didn't say I could do it. I just said I went through the class.
through the classes.
Yeah, they want us to know enough to be dangerous, not to actually sell it. So
Right.
I don't ever pretend to know how to put on stuff. That's what we have y'all for, right? But I just personally had more fun doing PPF.
I got you. I can understand that because during the day I would tint windows and then we'll go home and take a shower, eat some dinner, come back at night when the shop's chill, put some like Sade, was it Sade? Kenny G. And I would,
Kenny G. Some Inya.
some Inya. I would over there, just, I always look at, and I've said this before on a podcast, and I'll say it again. Window tinting is like having sex. You can go at any speed and it's fun. And I know this is loud, but anyway, PPF is one of those that you have to be delicate the whole time. You can't just be fast and rough. You have to really pay attention to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Or you can mess it up.
Be a little more thoughtful. And when you do mess it up, it's typically a lot more expensive.
So one of the things I would say is window tinting is having sex and paint protection is making love.
Okay. I've never heard it. I've never heard it like that, but
No,
I wouldn't.
that's definitely a way.
Wouldn't say no to that.
I'll put it in my head like,
Yeah.
categories.
Yeah. Okay.
It's all good. No, anyway, man, it's a pleasure to have you here today.
Absolutely.
No, we had a good time
appreciate
yesterday on the land. We were talking about business, talking about growth, talking about the good things that are coming for 2025. Everybody's seeing a little bit about a 20% off in 2024.
Yeah.
Projections for 2025 are looking good.
Yes.
They are looking really good. Interest rates should be coming down. The car sales should start going up a little bit. I know you have the new Tesla program coming out with XPEL that's on a slow release right now, but as 2025, I do believe that it's going to ramp up. I don't know if anybody watching really cares, but the XPEL brand has partnered with Tesla. And you guys are doing the window tint program through when someone buys the car. We're starting to see this at our store. We're starting to see not inquiries, but people that purchase window tint.
Yep.
And this is a game changer. I mean, how many manufacturers at all are doing the kind of things you guys are doing behind the scenes? I mean, I've never seen any of the manufacturers doing the innovative things that you guys are doing.
Nobody's doing this.
They're not even touching it.
No, these OEM, the referral programs, we don't want to call them partnerships. That's a different level when you're on the OEM. They somehow don't like that word, but referral programs, right? So we do have an active program right now with Tesla, which is the best-selling car on the planet, just saying.
Got one.
And with Rivian. And so, that's just the beginning, guys. No other manufacturer is doing it like this, where, because you got to, and this well, because you spend a lot of money on marketing, Mike. What is your cost per PPF lead, per window tint?
$50 to $100 per lead.
So
that's not to mention the ad creation. That's not to mention the management. That's not to mention setting up and testing it. And then all of a sudden, it's what the click versus just getting a click to get an inbox lead averages $50 to $75, $100 at sometimes.
Right. So now if you're on board with XPEL and you meet a couple of criteria, you could potentially have these PPF and tint deals that cost you nothing.
I know.
You just check your email and
Garrett,
free money.
How many times have we taken a Tesla tint lead and then sold them PPF when they came in?
PPF, ceramic. It's not even that. It's just when we're setting up the appointment. I mean, it's been fantastic.
Right.
But I would say 3 out of 5 times.
Yeah, they're buying more. So they come in off the sale of origination from XPEL, the partnership.
It's easy to say, hey, since we have it, do you want us to go ahead and do this?
I had a guy come to me not too long ago in one of the groups, and he texted me, he goes, why should I be with XPEL? Okay, well, why not? Why should you not be with XPEL? They're doing X, Y, Z. They're doing this, and this, and this. What are the other guys doing? I'm just comparing apples to apples. Like, we all sell products, but what are the other products manufacturers doing to put more business in your store?
That's right.
That's the separation.
Right.
That's the real game changer.
Well, it's the whole, soup to nuts. Like, what is that manufacturer going to offer you? Right? Are their ceramic coatings cheaper? Right? Like, that's something we hear sometimes, like, why is your ceramic coating more expensive? It's not like we're sitting on a pile of cash like Scrooge McDuck, right? We're taking that money, we're reinvesting it into growing our brand and getting people to your door asking for us by name. So that's why you're doing more XPEL.
When somebody asks me why things are more expensive, I said, let me ask you a question. When you pick up the phone and call and say there's a problem, do they fix it? No questions asked. I said, that's why. Because if you call the other guys and they put you through a hurdle, they put you in another hurdle, and they want to do another hurdle, and they go, hey, we'll mail us that piece. And then once we get the piece, and then once we test the piece, it'll be maybe a couple of weeks, and then we'll give you a credit on your account.
Some shops can't survive that way either.
Right. So what does XPEL do? They go, we'll send a rollout tomorrow, no problem. We can credit your account tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. We'll just make sure you send this to us, blah, 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 blah. Right? Because the timeline of that problem needs to be fixed immediately. And these cash flow of shops is up and down, up and down, up and down. And XPEL is by far, I have experienced many manufacturers in 36 years, and you guys absolutely are the best at that.
We appreciate that a lot.
And I'm not. You know.
Well, that means a lot, and we really do try that. And I think that, like, obviously I'm very biased, right? XPEL rules over everyone else, 100%, every single second of the day.
You got the XPEL.
I don't have the XPEL tattoo yet, but when you look at everything from customer service to marketing to warranty to products to like everything, software, right? Software is a product line. People don't think about that, but we as XPEL, we have everything under one roof. You don't need to go anywhere else, and there's some cool stuff cooking, so just stay tuned, y'all. But one of the things, and this harkens back to like why am I still here, is like the passion of our leadership. So a little behind the curtain, every now and then, usually every quarter, we do an internal kind of a XPEL State of the Union, right? Like, here's how XPEL is doing. Every XPEL employee hops on a Zoom call, and it's our leadership team telling us how we're doing, kind of updating us on some things, trying to stay in communication. And a couple of calls ago, Ryan Pape hopped on, and he had a message for us. He's like, guys, I read this book called Unreasonable Hospitality. And, there's an example in the book where this couple's out to dinner in New York City. They get to ordering, and then they stop their server because they're like, hey, we left a glass bottle in the freezer. It's going to explode if we don't go take it out. The server's like, well, if you're comfortable, tell us where you live, give us your keys, we'll go take it out for you so you can sit in and enjoy your meal because we know you're celebrating, right? And like, obviously that's crazy. Like, what restaurant's going to do that? Who's going to take the time to do that? And while you may not give someone your keys to go in your house, it's the fact of like unreasonable hospitality. If it seems unreasonable, that's the reason that we should be doing it. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to make money, right? If we lose money, which often we do when we're just trying to fix things and make it right, because at the end of the day, like, yes, we care about the bottom line, and accounting team, love you, but like, it's not always about that, right? It's about doing whatever it takes to just do the right thing and keep your customer happy and keep the customer and consumer experience positive.
That is absolutely brilliant, and I've been trying to teach everybody that because we're doing a vehicle up at the lake right now, and the guy goes, I can only drop it off this day. I said, no problem, I'll come up and meet you, no sweat. I said, where do you live? I said, I'm happy to get you an Uber back home, because he had another vehicle. He's not worried about not getting around. And he goes, oh, well, I live over there. If you're comfortable, I'm happy to drop you off. And on the way back, we had about a half-hour drive. And I was just asking him, I said, what made you choose us? He goes, because he told me point blank, I was talking to all these other shops. Your pricing was almost dead on, if not, just a tick more, and you took care of me there, blah, blah, blah. He said, it wasn't the price. He said, my brother's got a brand new car. I just got a brand new car. He's getting it through the dealership. But you and your energy and the fact that you were wanting to pay attention, asking me these details, and walked the vehicle with me before we even did anything, walked in the door. He said, that is what solidified me wanting to go with you. You met me here on a Sunday when you guys weren't supposed to be here. You're taking me back down. Like, you're going the extra step without having to expend anything. You're not spending anything to go the extra step. And he's been awesome. And I have a feeling that he will happily support the business.
Absolutely. I absolutely love that story. And I'm going to actually take a lot of what you just said and implement some more procedures. Next company meeting is going to be something on those lines.
Awesome. Yeah.
And, I get emotional when after 36 years of being in this business, I can read customers very well, and I can read their intent, and I can read their expectations. And a lot of times I know the outcome of where it's going to go beyond the outcome before they do.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
I do.
And I can't be taken, and I feel like if I don't put a hard line sometimes in the sand, then with as much volume as we do in this company, that if I don't put some type of hard line, then I'm going to get taken advantage of over and over and over and over and over, because what I feel is the people that are making a stretch, they're buying a product that they want emotionally at the time. And then all of a sudden they're having some type of buyer's remorse where it's almost like, man, I spent a little more money. The wife's now giving me a hard time. I didn't budget that because something unexpected just came. And then all of a sudden they want to call their credit card company and they want to turn around and dispute the transaction. And now we're in the process of dealing with that. There's not beyond of customer service. I can't go beyond when someone's trying to not let me fix a problem. When they want to just create the problem without calling us and letting us know there is a problem.
Right.
The problem has already hit 911.
Yeah.
And
We're in a complaint economy.
They went straight to 11.
and that's exactly what Garrett just said. We're in a complaint economy where people can voice their opinion on the Better Business Bureau, Google, Facebook. They have 20 freaking, next door. There's 20 platforms that you can now go voice the same bad, whether you did something bad or not. I can accuse Garrett of hurting my feelings walking through the door or saying something inappropriate to me. No one witnessed it, but I now wrote a book and a story about it, put it online, and now it's his job to defend against that.
Right.
And then I become the defensive one.
Right. And now he's the defensive one. When I'm turning around and I'm the one just pointing the finger at him going, man, I'm just pissed off at you, bro. I just wrote that shit because I'm mad at you.
Right. When they should have just called you to begin with.
But the world we live in today with social media has its benefits, but it also has its downfalls. How do you handle when people are directing missiles at you where you didn't, you do the best you can, I guess. I guess you just get an army of people.
That's all you can do. You just
So we get a bad
just
review.
have to care. Yeah.
And when we get a bad review, I once welcomed bad reviews. I was like, you know what? We have 300 5 stars. Okay, 2, 4, 3, 1 stars. Okay, great. Makes us look normal, right? I remember Popnik, one of your best friends. He was at 3 or 4 years ago. I think we were in a conference somewhere. I don't know where we were. We were having dinner, and he was right next to me. He was getting super angry, and I was like, "What is wrong, bro?" He goes, "I just got my first bad review," and he's going nuts at dinner. I think we were eating Italian. I think you were there.
That sounds like me.
And no, you didn't. He was getting mad because of the bad review that he had just received, and he's like, "Man, that's my first one." I said, "Good, man, good job, bro." He said, "What do you mean?" I go, "Explain." I said, "As soon as you get back on, explain it. Give your review back and say, this is what we did, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah." And then you're real. Yep. And if I would look at how you handled the bad and what you said as a customer, going, you know what? I've never had a single experience where everything went perfect.
Yeah.
There's always some kind of imperfection somewhere, right? Either the waiter didn't get the food out on time, or either the steak came out a little bit different, or whatever. Somebody's going to have a bad experience. It's how you handle the bad experience.
Yep.
But we are exactly what Garrett just said.
Yeah.
The
Complaint economy.
We're a complaint economy. And I think money's getting a little tighter with people now this year. And I'm starting to see it more and more. But during COVID, everybody became an asshole.
Well, and I think that's, I won't say that wearing my XPEL shirt, but I think people are quick to go glass half empty, right? And if you just keep being not to be cheesy, but just keep being positive, keep being the good you want to see in people, and care about them. Care about them when they think you won't. Care about them when they think it doesn't matter, or it's unreasonable, or what tent shop is going to care because I accidentally overspent and blah, blah, blah. Just care anyway.
So I'll tell you, I'm going to wrap it up with this one. Had an ex-football player, Garrett, and I attended his wife's. It was just probably years ago. And I attended the Escalade. I think it was an Escalade at the time. And it was maybe 10 o'clock in the morning. By 2:30 in the afternoon, I'm getting a phone call from this guy, very angry. And I'm like, "Yes, sir. My wife came up there, had her windows tinted today, and there's bubbles all in it. I don't know what kind of work you guys are doing, but it looks like, sir, can you bring it back up here yourself and let me see exactly what you're seeing? Because I personally did that car. I know for a fact it came out really, really well." Comes in the shop. I say, "Hey, buddy, how you doing?" I'm smiling, happy. I knew exactly what was wrong. I walked out. I said, "Sir, can you do me a favor? Can you get in the driver's seat for me? I'm going to get in the passenger seat." He goes, "Okay." And I said, "Will you please put your seatbelt on for me?" And he goes, "Okay, please put your seatbelt on." He puts the seatbelt on. And I said, "Can you close the door?" He closed the driver's door. I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Can you put both hands on the steering wheel?" Put both hands on the steering wheel. And I said, "Can you take your left hand and push the button to the seatbelt and move your right hand down and don't touch the seatbelt. And he goes, and it popped. The handle just goes kapling, and it put a nick in the film right next to the other nick. And he goes, I'm going to kill her. He goes, I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her.
Yep.
And he goes, I'm going to kill her. He says, I'm so sorry. I said, sir, I said, do me a favor. Give me 10 minutes. I'm going to pull it in. I'm going to redo this window for you. Okay. And then I'm going to actually put a piece of tape on your, and I took some blue tape and I just kind of put it right on the piece that was right here.
Yep.
To let her know that this is going to, and take the blue tape off when you're ready, but just to be the awareness of it. And he goes, man, I owe you one, man, I owe you one. Came in mad, came in heated, called.
Yep.
That's a great story.
Now he's going to kill the wife instead of me.
Well, and he didn't, hopefully.
He didn't kill me. No.
But he probably came back
Loyal.
time and time
Very
again.
loyal, very loyal. But anything you want to add to the podcast? Anything you would like to say? In your heart, you would like to get out in this moment?
No pressure, but all county version.
Ding, ding, ding.
Never stop driving.
Never stop driving.
Steal that from Haggerty. Yeah.
Don't stop buying cars.
Go drive your stuff.
You sold your
people.
Jeep.
Go
What are you
drive
driving
stuff.
now? Company car? Yeah. What do you got? Like a Envoy or something?
2023
Malibu?
Chevrolet Traverse.
Traverse. There you go.
LT all-wheel
Is it
drive.
tinted?
Yeah.
Windshield tinted?
Yeah.
The windshield's tinted?
Yeah. Full 70 on the shield and a 5% eyebrow, dog.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's cool.
Where's the XPEL stickers on these cars? You don't have like a little like branded XPEL sticker on the
No,
car?
you don't want you don't want company.
No, you don't, do you?
Because for all the times he's cutting people off, the last thing you want to see is an XPEL sticker.
I never cut people off. I always abide by traffic laws.
Right on. Nah, this is good, man. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cool. Garrett, as always.
Been great.
Thanks, Mike.
Yep. See you.
Thanks,
Mike
Mike.
signing off. Take care. Mike.